Well, this week on A Minute with Randy Bartlett, we're going to talk about something a little different, almost a social commentary, but I will apply it to what we do in the DJ world. And I just want to talk about the whole victim mentality that has become prevalent in our society. Everybody, it seems, actually wants to be a victim, right? Everybody's either a victim of racism or reverse racism, right? Sexism or reverse sexism. The cops are out to get you, or everybody's trying to take advantage of the cops. Like, everybody's a victim of something. And we all do that. But if you allow yourself to become a victim, there's nothing you can do about it, right? So what you have to do, it becomes critical, is learn to take the responsibility on yourself for everything. In the DJ world, here's what that looks like to me. A really simple example. We have a checklist, hopefully you all have our checklist of the things that we do at a wedding reception, one of which is to make sure before we announce the cake cutting that there's a plate, a knife, and a napkin at the cake table ready to go. Now, it is not my responsibility to make sure that's there. However, I'm going to be the one who makes the announcement that we're going to watch the bride and groom share their first piece of cake. And when I do that, if that plate, knife, and napkin are not there, the next thing that will happen is that they'll say, we need a knife. Can we get a knife? At that point, I'm just mad, right? Like, oh, these stupid caterers, I can't believe they missed it again. And then they screwed me up. Same thing could be, the photographer who takes the bride and groom and says, I'm going to be gone 5 minutes, and then they're gone for half an hour. And I'm a victim of this again. The reality is, most of the time, we can head that stuff off at the pass and be ready for it. This isn't new. These aren't new. So when it's time for, in my planning sessions, I talk to the bride and groom about photos, if they're going to be leaving the reception for photos. If they are, and even if they're not, in fact, then I call the photographer and I talk to them and I ask them if they're going to be taking them out for photos. When they say they are, or they might means they will, right? And then I say, how long will you be gone? Now, the red flag for me is if they say, oh, like 5 minutes. Well, that's a lie. There's just no way. You can't even get to the place and back in 5 minutes, much less take the photos. So then I have to say, it's really important for me to know a pretty accurate amount of time that you're going to be gone. And I know that at that location, the place where you take photos, probably 5 minutes away by the time you get outside and get the bride in the golf cart and drive her over to there, right? So the photos are going to be 5 minutes. So realistically, 15 minutes, 5 there, 5 back, 5 minutes there. Yeah. Any chance that these photos are going to go longer than 5 minutes? Well, maybe 10. Okay, so in the history of the world, here's what I know. No photographer who ever said 5 to 10 minutes got back in 5. If they say 5 to 10, it's 10 to 15. We know that. So I'm not going to be the victim of that. I'm going to plan for those things. I know what's coming. Everything we do, we have some control over. And the whole purpose of this is, if I don't take control, if I don't take responsibility, it's going to happen again. If it's the caterer's fault, then the caterer's going to do it. I'm going to have to deal with a stupid caterer every single time. So I take as many things on me as I possibly can. I go, it's our responsibility. Now, there are some things we just can't control. But an awful lot of it we can control, or we can at least, even if we can't control it, we can predict it and plan for it, right? So if I know that we're going to have a sparkler exit, then I know some things have to happen. I know we have to have a wide enough spot for the bride and groom to go down the middle without catching on fire. I know that they're going to try to light the sparklers before they're supposed to. So it means I need to be able to control that crowd, which means I need a speaker outside. So I have to set that speaker up in advance and know that I've got a speaker that I can use outside to be able to control that moment. I know that we're going to need a place to put the sparklers when we're done. I know we're going to need to have a car at the end of that. We just did a sparkler exit a couple of weeks ago, and we went out, we got everything all checked before I had the bride and groom come out. Let me make sure everything is in place. I did all those things, and it turns out that the car was there but locked. They wouldn't have been able to get into it. They would have gotten to the end. So I told them, hang on a minute, we're getting the car unlocked, and we got the car unlocked, and they came out and they made it. So it wasn't really my responsibility, but it would have sure been a mess otherwise. And then I would have been a victim. I would have been saying, oh, these stupid people, blah, blah, blah. But that's not the case. Don't allow yourself to be a victim. And that's, in your real life, listen, it's not a fair world that we live in. And if you think you're a victim because you're old or young or male or female or, whatever your issue is, don't allow that to make you the victim. Just take charge of it and move on. We know unequivocally there are people all around us who succeed in spite of all the things that are stacked up against them. So not everybody will succeed, but everybody can succeed, and it's up to you if you don't allow yourself to be a victim. For example, if you only allotted 1 minute to watch A Minute with Randy Bartlett, and we're on probably like episode 25, if you haven't figured out by now these aren't a minute long, that's on you, man. That's not on me. I'll see you next time.